With the belief that CM Punk may work things out with AEW and more, this is Wrestling Hub. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Wrestling Hub Official and follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. Talking to Steve Falls of NBC Sports, NWA owner Billy Corgan touched on discussions of a possible partnership with WWE and even having the NWA on Peacock. I've had no discussions along that end. All my comments were in reference to having had those discussions before when Triple H was in power, and then whatever happened when he was out of power for a while. Now he's come back. So I know why people made hay with that. That's cool, but I have not had any recent discussions. I have channels through there, and of course I have friends in the company. I only want the best for that company as I want the best for everybody in the business. So, if they call, I'm interested, but no, it's nothing active for sure. Asked about AEW President Tony Khan potentially purchasing the NWA, Corgan responded, no, never had those discussions. Ring of Honor was offered for sale to me as well. I don't know where I was in the packing order. I got the feeling I wasn't first, but I certainly wasn't last. I did consider it. It's an interesting thing to think about, like similar to what Tony did, create a brand that runs alongside your main brand, and maybe there's a synergy there that can happen. Speaking of the NWA, it seems their longtime world champion has decided to leave, with PW Insider reporting that Aldis has been critical of the creative direction for the NWA, which is 100% Corgan's vision at this point, and that led to a breakdown. Another source stated that there was magma-level heat towards Nick Aldis for promoting himself above the NWA and for his constantly speaking out regarding Corgan's creative decisions. With the Kingdom recently signing with AEW, it seems they did have talks with WWE, as Sean Ross Sapp reported that shortly after the trio left Impact Wrestling, there were reports that Matt Taven had interest from WWE. We're told by WWE sources that there were actually conversations with all three members of the Kingdom, including Maria Kanellis and Mike Bennett. However, no firm offer was in place to bring them in, and it was more of a feeling out process between the two sides. Speaking on After the Bell about Sami Zayn's involvement in the Bloodline, Paul Heyman said, Sami Zayn in the Bloodline, a perfect example of a catalyst that has now revealed multiple layers of different personas within the Bloodline. We have defined Jey Uso, the right-hand man, far more with Sami Zayn than we did before Sami Zayn. We've defined Jimmy Uso as to which, the insult that Roman Reigns laid on Jey Uso when Jey was the first challenger to the title. The insult that Roman Reigns laid on him was, you go through the airports and fans come up to you and say, which Uso are you? Which twin are you? Which one are you? Nobody says that anymore. Everybody knows who Jey is. Everybody knows who Jimmy is. We've now established the difference between the Usos, and they've established it themselves, and they established it a whole hell of a lot more since Sami Zayn came into the mix. Sami Zayn comes into the mix at the same time Solo Sikoa comes into the mix, and we have now certainly had situations where you get to see the persona emerge from Solo. You've seen a completely different side of the Tribal Chief. Tribal Chief wasn't laughing before Sami Zayn. Laughed at a couple of people. Laughed at John Cena, laughed at Kevin Owens, laughed at Drew McIntyre, laughed at Edge and Daniel Bryan when he stacked them at WrestleMania. But he wasn't laughing in the middle of a promo segment. Sami Zayn has brought out a completely different wrinkle of the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns, and my reaction to Sami Zayn and how I deal with his new influence on the Tribal Chief when I've had the Tribal Chief's ear the whole 2 years, with very brief exception when there was tension caused by Brock Lesnar, brings out a different version of Heyman as well. So one catalyst has completely changed the dynamic within the Bloodline, the presentation of the Bloodline, and the interpersonal relationships within the Bloodline, and it's been the emergence of a star named Sami Zayn. That's a perfect storm for us and new characters in different situations, or even different characters that have never interacted, and putting them together, engaging that chemistry, and presenting compelling, riveting scenarios that we haven't done before that reveal the different layers to the dimensional personalities that we try to put forth. That's fascinating television. That's great programming. That's good booking. That leads to different scenarios in the ring that you wouldn't have imagined just a few days, few weeks, few months before. That's what I'm looking at, new talent in the mix with talent they haven't mixed with before. Touching on Logan Paul's performance at Crown Jewel, Bobby Lashley told Seconds Out that I have a little respect for Logan because I've seen him put in the work, and one thing, somebody that comes from the outside, the business, they usually only have one match, but he actually signed a contract. He's one of us. He's been putting in a lot of work. He's put in a lot of time. I would like to see what he does here. Of course, Paul would note that he has a torn meniscus, ACL, and MCL, which could leave him out of action for at least 6 months. Sticking with Bobby Lashley, he would react to Kurt Angle saying their world title match from Impact Wrestling saved the Olympian's career, telling CBS Sports, "Damn, that is awesome," and a huge compliment. Kurt was the one that kind of opened the doors and got me into professional wrestling from the beginning, so I've always had a huge amount of respect and admiration for Kurt, so the fact that he said that, it really is a huge deal for me. But at the same time, it's Kurt Angle, man. I believe he's one of the best in the business, and the fact that I was able to give him that mindset to be able to train and want to keep going, that is a huge compliment and a huge blessing and a huge amount of respect to me. With many wondering where Seth Rollins was during Crown Jewel, Ringside News explained that a report is going around that WWE nixed plans for a US title open challenge at Crown Jewel. We were told that Rollins was always supposed to have this weekend off. He was never in any plans for the Crown Jewel show. On Keeping It 100, Conan spoke about Billy Gunn's involvement with the Acclaimed in AEW, saying, "I love when the Acclaimed come out, they're beat, and then the guy's rapping, right? Always has good lines, you know? And the other guy acts like a stupid butt, but I'm okay with it. I just always think, what is Billy doing with these guys? He looks so out of place. He looks like he's having fun, but he looks so out of place. Dude, I thought this dragged, you know? I thought it was kind of stupid. How many times can you say scissor me and daddy scissors? This could be over quick. They're going to the well too many times." Recalling his time as Zack Ryder in WWE, Matt Cardona revealed he was trying to do away with it, telling Kevin Kellum, "The woo woo woo, the headband, the sunglasses, it's dead. And I was trying to get away from that while I was Zack Ryder in WWE, but you can't write the show. So I'm trying to be more serious, but you are booked to be not so serious. It is what it is." That's why when I was let go, I was like, oh my god. Not that there were any handcuffs on, but the handcuffs were gone, and I was able to become the new version of me, whatever that was going to be. Speaking to Corey Graves and Paul Heyman on After the Bell, Raw commentator Kevin Patrick touched on his initial weeks as the lead announcer. "I think the feel for it, if that makes any sense at all." Patrick said when asked what he is learning the most doing commentary on Raw, that smell and feel for every single moment within a 3-hour show is quite complicated. And I know you'll agree with that. You've been part of this business for way more than half your life, right, Gravy? And yet I'm sure when you jumped into commentary at first, that feel for do I jump in right now? Wait, let this breathe. Roman's about to say something in front of the camera, like he did as he's leaving ringside on Monday. Just shut up, lay out, leave it be. But at other moments, I'm figuring out that I need to jump in maybe a little bit quicker. It's all completely and utterly nuanced throughout the entire show, and it's figuring out that feel, I think, which will take time. It's not something that you're gonna jump in and on your Thursday in a work week have that totally and utterly figured out. It's a privilege, it's an absolute joy to be in this role, and I hope folks will take to me and take to us in time. Touching on her heel turn in AEW, Anna Jay said this about it to Pro Wrestling Illustrated. "Well, I'll start off by saying I'll always love my Dark Order guys, but you know, it's kind of one of those things where I could never turn down an opportunity to work with someone like Chris Jericho. He's someone who's probably the most talented person I know in the wrestling business, so to work with him is really an honor and something I've never thought I'd be able to do." So that would be the main reason I would say, and also, like I said, to be able to tag with Ty Mello again. So I think those are the main reasons, but yeah, Chris Jericho, he's great and I am so happy that I get to work with him. Yeah, I feel I've come into the heel role. I like doing that. I think it's a little fun to play someone maybe who I'm really not. I don't think I would say I'm like that in real life, so I think it's really fun. It's also something different to do and to challenge myself. So I'm really glad I've been able to do that, just because to change characters is just something, you know, that's maybe not the easiest thing, but like I said, it's challenging me and I've loved every second of it. With him taking a shot at the Meltzer star rating and acrobatic pro wrestlers, it seems the monster among men has made some angry within the WWE, as Steve Carrier wrote. Braun Strowman has some heat on him right now. Those tweets yesterday did him no favors, but a lot of people in WWE were already questioning his motives after showing up late, leaving early, all while having an overall bad attitude and ego. During his interview with NBC, NWA owner Billy Corgan touched on his interest in bringing CM Punk into his promotion. I know him personally, and I've talked wrestling with him for years, so I would be hard-pressed to imagine he'd want to come to the NWA given his other opportunities. Certainly there are other companies that are bigger and can offer him a bigger payday. I'd be surprised if he leaves AEW. I've heard those rumors too, but I just imagine that it would be worked out. So until it's official, I'll just assume that he's going to stay, and they're going to figure it out because I think he's a benefit and a bonus to them. I think the same in reverse. I think they've done a good thing of bringing him back to professional wrestling where he belongs because he's such an immensely talented guy. So look, it's wrestling. A lot of rumors, a lot of talk. For all we know, it's just part of a bigger negotiation going on behind the scenes that he's gonna leave and he's still gonna stay. It's wrestling. So why wouldn't we think it's an angle on some other level? I tend to look at those things sideways. Plus, I also don't want to be in the business of trying to openly recruit people who work for other companies. I don't like when people do it to me. I can name names, but I just think when people are under contract, that should be respected as best as possible. And this was your pro wrestling news update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.